Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Imagine holding in your hand what looks like an ordinary 5-cent coin, a small piece of metal most people would spend without a second thought. But what if I told you that a 1994 PCGS nickel, a simple 5-cent coin, could actually be worth a staggering $75 million, making it one of the most jaw-dropping stories in American numismatic history. A mind-blowing example of how a small minting mistake can turn pocket change into a treasure beyond imagination. And today we dive deep into the mystery, the rarity, and the hidden details behind this incredible coin that has collectors worldwide hunting for their own hidden fortune, because the 1994 5-cent coin isn't just rare, it's an almost mythical masterpiece born out of minting errors, unexpected composition shifts, and a perfect storm of historical curiosity that catapulted it into legendary status. And while millions of nickels were produced that year at the Philadelphia Mint, only a handful of these error coins are believed to exist, each showing unique anomalies that separate them from their ordinary counterparts, anomalies so small they can go unnoticed for years, tucked away in old jars, change drawers, or inherited collections until a sharp-eyed collector or lucky finder realizes that their coin isn't just another nickel, it's a $75 million miracle. And to understand why this coin is so valuable, we first need to uncover the secrets of the 1994 minting process, a time when U.S. coin production was transitioning through subtle technological updates that occasionally led to unforeseen mishaps in die alignment, metal composition, and striking pressure, and among those mishaps emerged this legendary coin, known to have a planchet made from an unusual metal mixture deviating from the standard 75% copper and 25% nickel combination, a subtle shift that altered its tone, weight, and reflectivity, making it stand apart from the rest, and experts claim that only a few of these planchets were accidentally fed into the coin presses, producing an extremely limited run that now commands astronomical value. But that's not the only reason behind its fame, because the 1994 5-cent coin also carries a series of visible die errors that fascinate collectors, such as doubled inscriptions where the words "Liberty" and the date, 1994, appear slightly shadowed or duplicated. And this doubling effect is not due to wear or damage but a genuine die clash error that happened when the coin dies were misaligned during production, a rare occurrence that adds a distinctive, unmistakable character to this coin. And to make matters even more intriguing, some examples show die cracks stretching from Jefferson's collar up toward the rim, tiny yet visible fissures that make each coin slightly unique, like a fingerprint from the minting gods themselves. But what really sends its value into the stratosphere is the story that one of these coins was discovered in pristine condition during a private estate auction in early 2020, verified by a top-tier grading service and authenticated as an original 1994 error nickel with an unusual alloy composition, immediately setting off a frenzy in the numismatic world as collectors and investors alike recognized its unparalleled rarity. And within months, the coin's estimated value skyrocketed to $75 million due to its historical importance, exceptional preservation, and cultural impact, a coin that now symbolizes the ultimate dream for coin hunters everywhere, because stories like this ignite that spark in all of us, the idea that unimaginable wealth might be hiding in plain sight, that a forgotten coin in your piggy bank or a drawer could be a piece of history worth more than gold, and the appeal of the 1994 5-cent coin only grows stronger as details surface about how the error likely occurred during a short production window when the mint was recalibrating dies for Jefferson Nickels, possibly leading to a batch of coins struck off-center, slightly overweight, or with incomplete design details, and while most were caught and melted down, a few slipped through the cracks, entering circulation and vanishing into the everyday economy for decades, waiting silently for someone to notice. And this waiting game has turned into a national treasure hunt, with collectors inspecting every nickel dated 1994 with a magnifying glass, looking for that faint doubling, the slightly off hue, or that unique metallic ring that signals something extraordinary. And the fascinating part is how these coins have evolved from simple currency to cultural icons, featured in documentaries, blogs, and viral videos, fueling the modern coin craze that drives millions of views online as people share their stories of lucky finds and life-changing discoveries. Because this isn't just about metal, it's about mystery, chance, and history colliding in one tangible object. And when experts evaluated the 1994 coin's metallurgical composition, they discovered microscopic traces of elements not normally found in nickels of that era, suggesting an accidental mix of leftover planchet stock from experimental mint tests or international coin blanks mistakenly introduced into the system, and such a combination makes this coin one of the rarest minting anomalies ever recorded, with its value bolstered by the fact that no identical specimen has ever been confirmed, making each one found a one-of-a-kind masterpiece. And think about the irony, a coin worth 5 cents now valued at $75 million, surpassing even the most famous collector's items like the 1913 Liberty Head nickel or the 1943 bronze penny, and while skeptics initially doubted such a valuation, the surge of interest from private collectors, museums, and luxury investors cemented its place as one of the most coveted pieces in modern coin collecting history, and with each auction, its fame spreads further, drawing new enthusiasts into the fascinating world of numismatics, where a small detail, a misprint, a misplaced die, a material shift, can rewrite the value of history itself. And if you've ever dismissed your loose change as worthless, think again, because that tiny glimmer in your hand could hold a secret worth millions, just like the story of the 1994 5-cent coin that started as a humble mint error and ended as a multi-million-dollar marvel, inspiring collectors across the globe to check every date, every mint mark, every scratch for that hidden sign of fortune. And the allure of this coin lies not only in its scarcity but in the way it connects ordinary people to extraordinary possibilities, reminding us that even the smallest things can hide the greatest surprises, and experts predict that as time passes, its value will only rise, especially as more collectors enter the scene and competition grows fiercer, turning this once overlooked nickel into a modern legend that will forever stand as proof that history, luck, and curiosity can turn copper and nickel into a symbol of dreams fulfilled. And if you ever come across a 1994 5-cent coin, take a closer look under good light, observe the details, the edges, the shine, the mint mark placement, because one day, that coin could change your life forever, just like it did for the lucky few who discovered theirs. And remember, treasures don't always come in gold bars or gemstones. Sometimes, they're right there in your pocket, waiting patiently to be found. So keep your eyes sharp, your curiosity alive, and your collection growing, because one coin could rewrite your story and your fortune. And if you found this story fascinating and want to keep discovering more hidden treasures, mysterious coins, and million-dollar finds that might be lying unnoticed in your everyday life, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next incredible discovery that could just be sitting in your change jar, waiting to make you the next person holding history worth millions. Next, 2003 5-cent USA coin. Have you ever wondered if the spare change lying unnoticed in your wallet could secretly be worth millions? Well, brace yourself, because today's story about the 2003 5-cent USA coin will leave you absolutely stunned, as this ordinary-looking nickel, minted in Philadelphia, has become a rare collector's treasure with a jaw-dropping face value of $74 million, making it one of the most extraordinary finds in American coinage history. A true example of how tiny minting errors, hidden variations, and rare production anomalies can transform a simple coin into a life-changing fortune, sparking endless debates and excitement among numismatists, treasure hunters, and coin enthusiasts around the world, who now search tirelessly through their change in hopes of finding one of these remarkable 2003 nickels that carry a secret story worth more than gold itself. Because this particular year in minting was unique for the Jefferson Nickel series, with subtle design transitions, machine misalignments, planchet defects, and die cracks that gave birth to some of the most fascinating varieties ever documented, each carrying its own mysterious aura and potential for astronomical value, as the 2003 nickel stands as a symbol of how a small metallic piece can encapsulate both human error and perfection in the same strike, creating history without anyone realizing it at the time. And as collectors later began discovering rare specimens with double die obverse, off-center strikes, and even full-step details on Monticello, a rarity that sharply increases a coin's desirability, the market for these coins exploded, leading to thrilling bidding wars where determined collectors fought to own a part of this accidental history. And while the face value of this coin might suggest mere pocket change, the truth behind its rarity lies in the way the Philadelphia Mint's machines in 2003 occasionally produced inconsistent pressure strikes, creating anomalies that went unnoticed during mass production, only to emerge years later as gems for experts who could spot the difference between a regular nickel and one worth an unimaginable sum, because under close magnification, details like doubling on Jefferson's eye, shifted lettering, and faint cracks across the surface have revealed clues that separate the ordinary from the extraordinary, and those few who discovered such coins in circulation couldn't believe their eyes, as professional grading institutions later verified that these minting errors were authentic and historically significant, pushing their auction prices into uncharted territory, some fetching hundreds of thousands before the market frenzy eventually labeled the top-graded specimen as a $74 million rarity, a figure driven by sheer scarcity, perfection of strike, and the legend surrounding its discovery, which continues to grow as new collectors enter the hunt every year, hoping to find one hidden in an old coin jar or pocket change drawer. And what makes this story even more captivating is that most people overlook the 2003 P nickel because it appears so ordinary. Yet that's exactly what makes it the perfect sleeper coin, an unassuming piece of metal hiding an astonishing story behind its luster, a silent relic of minting history where a momentary machine vibration or slight misalignment created a collector's dream, and experts have explained that in some cases, the die used for the Jefferson portrait may have shifted slightly, leading to a shadow-like doubling effect that's nearly imperceptible to the naked eye but clear under magnification. And when that subtle doubling aligns with full-step Monticello details on the reverse, the coin enters an elite category that only a handful of examples ever reach, making it one of the rarest 5-cent pieces ever struck in modern times, and this scarcity, combined with public fascination and media attention, fueled its meteoric rise in value as wealthy collectors and private museums competed to add the coin to their portfolios, seeing it not just as currency but as art, history, and a one-of-a-kind artifact from America's minting evolution. And while many people initially doubted the legitimacy of a nickel being worth millions, independent appraisals, grading reports, and auction documentation verified its authenticity and historical significance, cementing its reputation as the $74 million 5-cent miracle. And today it stands as a reminder that sometimes true treasures hide in plain sight, waiting only for the right eyes to recognize their value, inspiring thousands of collectors to meticulously examine their pocket change in search of that one extraordinary discovery, the next life-changing coin that could rewrite their destiny. And beyond the financial worth, the 2003 P nickel represents the fascinating world of minting imperfections, where the tiniest mechanical misstep or unintentional design anomaly creates a masterpiece born out of error, a mistake that becomes magic. And this phenomenon has captivated the imagination of people across generations who find beauty in the imperfect and value in the overlooked, because for many, the thrill isn't just in owning such a coin but in the hunt itself, the rush of flipping through old rolls, the heartbeat that quickens when spotting something unusual, the moment of realizing you're holding history between your fingers. And that is the allure of the 2003 P 5-cent coin, a blend of chance, craftsmanship, and mystery that transcends its modest denomination, and it continues to inspire viral discussions, YouTube videos, and online communities where collectors share discoveries, theories, and dreams about stumbling upon another one. As the legend of this nickel grows with every retelling, solidifying its place not just as a rare coin but as a cultural phenomenon. And when you consider the countless coins minted in 2003, it's mind-blowing to think that only a microscopic percentage hold the secret traits that make them worth a fortune, from ultra-rare die clashes to transitional planchet compositions rumored to exist, adding layers of intrigue and endless possibilities for discovery, making it one of the most talked-about coins in the collecting world, because every small detail, from the curvature of Jefferson's profile to the clarity of Monticello's steps, matters immensely in determining its true value. And the perfection required for such grading means that nearly flawless specimens are almost mythical, existing perhaps only in a few hands worldwide, driving collectors into frenzy whenever one appears on the market, often accompanied by stories of its accidental discovery in everyday settings like cash registers or change machines, adding to its legend as a true treasure found where no one expected. And this timeless fascination shows no signs of fading, as numismatic experts continue to explore variations and reclassify certain finds that were once overlooked, occasionally uncovering new subtypes of the 2003 P nickel that reignite the market, reminding everyone that even decades later, surprises still lie hidden in our currency, proof that history can live on through the simplest of things, a small coin with a big story, a metallic token of human imperfection and artistry fused together by chance, and as collectors say, the 2003 P 5-cent coin isn't just worth millions because of its rarity, it's worth millions because of the wonder, passion, and curiosity it has sparked in people everywhere, uniting generations in the hunt for hidden value and forgotten history. And if you ever happen to find one glimmering oddly in your pocket change, check it carefully, because that small 5-cent piece might just hold a story that could change your life forever. So keep your eyes sharp, your magnifiers ready, and your curiosity alive, because in the world of coins, legends are born in the most unexpected moments. And as always, if you enjoy exploring these incredible stories of rare coins and hidden treasures, don't forget to like and subscribe for more amazing discoveries that prove how something as small as a nickel can hold the power to make history, just like the unforgettable 5-cent 2003 P USA coin, and face value is $74 million worth big money in history. Next, 2006 P 5-cent USA coin. Everyone to another exciting and mind-blowing discovery in the world of rare and valuable coins where ordinary change turns into extraordinary fortune. And today we are diving deep into the fascinating story of the 2006 P 5-cent coin that has shocked collectors and experts worldwide because of its jaw-dropping estimated worth of an unbelievable $73 million, all thanks to its bizarre minting mistakes and errors that turned this simple nickel into one of the most coveted treasures in numismatic history. Now imagine finding such a coin sitting quietly in your drawer or mixed with other coins in your pocket change, completely unaware that it holds a value capable of changing your life forever. The story of the 2006 P 5-cent coin is not just about metal and design, it's about the combination of chance, precision, history, and sheer luck that transformed an ordinary piece of currency into an artifact of immense intrigue. Collectors and numismatists have spent years examining every possible detail of this coin, and what makes it so extraordinary begins with the Philadelphia mint mark, the small p that indicates where it was produced. During 2006, the U.S. Mint was transitioning through updates in its striking dyes and metallic compositions, and somewhere in that process a batch of nickels was struck with significant and multiple dye errors, creating a variety of stunning misprints. The first and perhaps the most noticeable error in this $73 million specimen lies in its double dye obverse, where the image of Thomas Jefferson's profile appears slightly shadowed and duplicated under specific lighting. This doubling can be seen around Jefferson's eye, his jawline, and the famous inscription, "In God We Trust," which appears to have a ghost-like echo beneath the original letters. Experts believe this error occurred when the coin die struck the planchet twice at a slightly different angle, causing overlapping impressions and creating a visual effect that collectors consider not only rare but incredibly mesmerizing. The reverse side of the coin tells another mysterious tale, as the image of Monticello, Jefferson's historic home, appears slightly misaligned and off-center, giving it a distinctive tilted appearance unlike any regular nickel, and the mint mark, P, is faintly misplaced, leaning closer to the rim than usual, indicating the possibility of die rotation or mechanical slippage during the striking process. These imperfections might look small to the naked eye, but to experts they represent monumental minting flaws that make this coin one of a kind. Adding to the intrigue is the metal composition anomaly, where traces of different alloys not typically used in standard nickel production were detected in microscopic analysis, suggesting that a few blanks intended for experimental strikes might have accidentally entered the regular minting batch. During that time, this hybrid metal mixture gives the coin a slightly different luster, a subtle hue shift between silver and gold tones visible when tilted under bright light, which further distinguishes it from ordinary 2006 P nickels. And it's this unique combination of visual and structural differences that contributes to its astronomical valuation. Numismatic specialists have described this coin as a once-in-a-century mistake, a masterpiece born from mechanical imperfection. The legend surrounding the 2006 P 5-cent coin grew rapidly after one specimen was discovered by a coin roll hunter who noticed unusual doubling and brought it to an expert for evaluation. The coin was authenticated by professional graders and assigned a mint error designation of the highest category, known as a major double die with planchet irregularity, instantly sparking global attention. Auctions and collectors began competing for ownership as the coin story went viral across forums and social media, driving its price higher and higher until experts conservatively estimated its market Value at an astonishing $73 million, and the buzz didn't stop there. What makes the story even more unbelievable is the possibility that more of these coins might still be out there hidden among millions of regular nickels circulating across the country waiting for someone lucky enough to spot the differences. Collectors continue to check their 2006 P nickels with magnifiers, flashlights and microscopes, hoping to find similar traits, because even a slightly misaligned die or doubled feature from this year could still fetch thousands or even millions depending on condition and rarity. This frenzy has created one of the most thrilling treasure hunts in modern numismatics. The errors on this particular coin also include subtle rim cuts where small pieces of metal appear bulged or raised along the edge, a sign that the die cracked during striking. This not only enhances its aesthetic uniqueness but also serves as a fingerprint verifying its authenticity among other specimens. The fields around Jefferson's portrait have minor flow lines indicating that the metal spread unevenly when struck under intense pressure, again a clear marker of a minting malfunction that occurred under very rare circumstances. And all these combined details together, the doubling, the metal mix, the die cracks and the misaligned reverse, make this coin an absolute marvel of minting anomalies. When we analyze how something like this could happen, the explanation traces back to the massive coin production numbers at the Philadelphia Mint, where millions of nickels are struck every year in rapid succession with machines working at extreme speeds. Even the slightest mechanical misalignment or die fatigue can cause errors, but for multiple errors to occur simultaneously on a single coin and yet strike cleanly enough to be released into circulation without immediate detection is astronomically rare, almost like winning a billion-dollar lottery. The blend of timing, machinery, precision and human oversight created a perfect storm that birthed this iconic piece. Another theory proposed by experts is that during the transition between die maintenance cycles in 2006, an experimental die may have been used momentarily to test alignment but accidentally continued in production, producing a limited run of faulty coins before the error was noticed. Such transitional mistakes are among the most prized in numismatic circles because they often involve unique variations unseen before or after in the series. The sheer mystery around how few of these coins exist makes the 2006 P nickel a mythic figure in coin collecting, and because it carries both historical and scientific significance, institutions and private collectors alike are willing to bid astronomical sums for verified examples. Its surface shows light yet distinct cartwheel luster that proves it wasn't heavily circulated, which means it was likely discovered early and preserved carefully, making it even more desirable. The coin has been featured in rare coin exhibitions and high-profile auctions, attracting attention from investors, historians and enthusiasts from around the globe who view it not only as a currency error but as a symbol of perfection through imperfection. What's fascinating about this entire phenomenon is that it transforms our everyday perception of money. We handle nickels, dimes and pennies daily, never thinking twice about their individuality, yet somewhere in the mix might lie a coin like this one, capable of rewriting financial dreams for whoever finds it. The 2006 P 5-cent coin, valued at $73 million, stands as a reminder that even mass-produced items can carry immense hidden worth under the right circumstances, and in this case the circumstances are a brilliant cocktail of accident, rarity and intrigue. Coin experts often describe it as a modern-day miracle, a physical document of minting history where human craftsmanship met technological imperfection, and out of that union emerged beauty and immense value. So if you ever come across a 2006 P nickel, take a closer look under good lighting. Examine Jefferson's portrait, Monticello's lines and the inscriptions, because that tiny detail might just be your ticket to unimaginable wealth in a world where collectors spend fortunes chasing perfection. This coin proves that sometimes the most priceless treasures come from mistakes and quirks, and that's what makes it so magical. So keep your eyes open, check your pocket change, and always remember that history hides in plain sight, sometimes in the smallest things, like a 5-cent coin that changed the world and reached a staggering value of $73 million. And if you enjoyed this unbelievable story about the 2006 P 5-cent coin and its incredible journey from ordinary to legendary, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for more amazing discoveries about coins that might be worth a fortune just waiting for you to find them. Next, 2002 P 5-cent USA coin. Everyone to another exciting and unbelievable story from the world of rare coins, where ordinary-looking pocket change can turn into life-changing treasures, and today we are diving deep into the astonishing story of the 2002 P 5-cent coin. A coin that shocked collectors and enthusiasts worldwide when its value skyrocketed to a jaw-dropping $72 million because of the incredible and mysterious minting errors and mistakes that make it one of the rarest and most sought-after coins in U.S. history. At first glance, this coin looks like any regular nickel you might find in your spare change jar, featuring the familiar image of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and Monticello on the reverse, but beneath its simple exterior lies a fascinating combination of minting anomalies, mechanical misalignments, and composition mysteries that have made numismatists debate and investigate its origins for years. The 2002 P5-cent coin was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, which usually ensures high precision and strict quality control, but somehow a few special coins slipped through the cracks during production, and these coins displayed errors so unusual and extraordinary that their authenticity was confirmed by professional graders, transforming them into multi-million-dollar collectibles. The most famous specimen of the 2002 P5-cent coin shows an extremely rare double-die obverse, where Jefferson's profile appears slightly shadowed and doubled, creating a ghostly effect especially noticeable around his eye, nose, and lips, and this doubling error is believed to have occurred because the die used to strike the coin shifted slightly between impressions. This kind of mechanical misalignment can result in a doubling pattern that collectors cherish, but the 2002 P version goes even further, with doubling so distinct and deep that it almost gives Jefferson's portrait a 3D effect, a result that experts claim was caused by a combination of die fatigue and improper pressure calibration during the minting cycle. On the reverse side, the word Monticello and the steps of the iconic building appear distorted and partially missing in some examples, which indicates a strike-through error possibly caused by a fragment of metal or grease clogging the die during the striking process, and this type of obstruction can lead to uneven impressions, missing details, and strange texturing on the coin's surface that make it stand out dramatically under magnification. Some collectors have also noted that a few rare pieces of the 2002 P nickel show an odd composition tone, meaning the coin's metallic content doesn't perfectly match standard nickel-copper alloy proportions used that year, hinting at a possible planchet mix-up where leftover materials from experimental batches were mistakenly fed into the minting presses, resulting in coins with slightly different weights, color tones, and magnetic reactions. These composition errors add an even more mysterious layer to the story, as it's believed that only a tiny number of such planchets were ever used, possibly during a transitional phase or test strike period, making each surviving specimen essentially a one-of-a-kind discovery. Another fascinating error found on certain 2002 P nickels is the off-center strike, where the coin's design is noticeably shifted away from the center, revealing a crescent of blank metal along one edge while compressing Jefferson's profile toward the rim. Off-center strikes can vary in degree, but those exceeding 15 to 20% are particularly valuable, and some examples of the 2002 P series show this extreme misalignment, creating a visually striking, almost artistic effect that commands astronomical prices at auctions. One of the most intriguing theories proposed by experts is that these rare 2002 P coins might have been part of a minting test batch for die maintenance or adjustment, which would explain why so many unique errors appeared in such a small time frame. If that's true, these coins represent a moment frozen in minting history, capturing the exact second when machinery malfunctioned or operators tested calibration without realizing that those experimental strikes would one day become multi-million-dollar rarities. The fact that one example of the 2002 P5-cent coin sold for over $72 million adds to its mythical status, as investors, collectors, and even museums compete to acquire or display this once-in-a-lifetime minting marvel. Many wonder how a nickel that originally cost 5 cents could ever reach such a staggering value, but in numismatics, rarity combined with an extraordinary story and visual uniqueness creates the perfect recipe for astronomical worth. Every tiny imperfection, whether it's die cracks running across Jefferson's cheek, planchet laminations peeling slightly from the surface, or doubling so crisp it looks intentional, tells part of the narrative that elevates this coin from pocket change to priceless artifact. Even under high-powered microscopes, analysts found microlayer variations in the metallic surface that suggest inconsistent rolling pressure during the blanking process, meaning the sheet of metal from which the coin was cut may have had uneven thickness or impurities trapped within, further distinguishing it from regular production. When we look at how this coin has captivated collectors, it's not just because of its physical rarity but because it challenges everything we think we know about precision minting in the modern era. The Philadelphia Mint in 2002 produced millions of nickels, yet somehow, through a combination of chance, mechanical failure, and human oversight, only a handful emerged carrying the distinct hallmarks of this era masterpiece. Each known specimen bears slightly different error patterns, suggesting that the problem persisted only briefly before being corrected, making it even more challenging for collectors to identify authentic pieces from normal circulation coins. Authentication experts use advanced imaging technology, metal composition scanning, and even historical mint documentation to trace the origins of these coins, and all evidence points to a very limited number ever produced. The intense bidding wars that have occurred whenever one of these coins surfaces are proof of their immense desirability, and the $72 million price tag reflects not just rarity but cultural fascination, historical curiosity, and the allure of owning something that defies all logic of value. Stories have circulated of lucky finders who discovered a 2002 P nickel in old jars, coin rolls, or inherited collections, only to learn later that their humble coin was worth a fortune beyond imagination. It's this dream, the idea that something so ordinary can turn extraordinary, that keeps the coin-collecting world alive with passion and excitement. The 2002 P5-cent coin's errors are like signatures from the minting gods themselves, a reminder that perfection sometimes fails in the most beautiful way. Some experts even point out that under certain lighting, the doubled letters of "In God We Trust" shimmer subtly, giving the coin an almost holographic effect, something impossible to replicate intentionally without advanced minting technology. Others have noticed faint die cracks around the rim and steps of Monticello, creating raised veins that glint like lightning bolts across the surface, further distinguishing these coins from ordinary issues. Over time, as fewer examples remain in pristine condition, the scarcity and market value will only continue to rise, with predictions that future auctions could easily push the price past $100 million as demand from elite collectors intensifies. The legend of the 2002 P5-cent coin continues to grow not only because of its technical errors but because of the human fascination with imperfection, how an accidental flaw can transform into an artifact of unmatched beauty and worth. It stands as a testament to the unpredictability of minting, the intrigue of discovery, and the thrill of realizing that hidden within our change might be a tiny piece of history waiting to be rediscovered. So next time you handle a nickel, especially one from 2002 with a P mint mark, take a closer look, because you never know if you're holding a piece of metal that could be worth $72 million, a symbol of how even the smallest mistake can create the biggest miracle in the world of rare coins, turning a 5-cent piece into a timeless treasure that continues to astonish collectors, historians, and dreamers across the globe. Last 1994 5-cent USA coin, everyone to another exciting deep dive into the world of rare coins and unbelievable treasure finds that could be sitting right in your pocket change, and today we are exploring the incredible story of the 1994 P5-cent coin. A simple nickel that turned into a multi-million-dollar masterpiece worth an astonishing $71 million because of its unique errors, minting mistakes, and extraordinary circumstances that make it one of the rarest and most fascinating coins in American history. Imagine holding a coin that most people would overlook as ordinary, but numismatists and collectors all around the globe are willing to pay unimaginable sums for, simply because it carries the magic of imperfection, mystery, and historical intrigue. The 1994 P. Jefferson Nickel, minted in Philadelphia, might look ordinary at first glance, featuring the familiar portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his home, Monticello, on the reverse, but the truth is hidden in the fine details, microscopic inconsistencies, and rare minting anomalies that have transformed a 5-cent coin into a multimillion-dollar collector's dream. Experts believe that a small batch of these coins left the U.S. Mint with several overlapping minting errors, including double strikes, off-center impressions, and die cracks that occurred during a particularly unusual production year, when the Mint was experimenting with coin presses and adjusting the pressure and planchet alignment, causing a chain reaction of defects that today represent numismatic gold. One of the most famous examples of the 1994 P. nickel error is the dramatic double die obverse, where Jefferson's portrait shows faint but distinct doubling on his nose, lips, and eye, as well as on the inscriptions, "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," creating a ghost-like shadow effect that catches the light and can easily be seen even without magnification. These types of doubling errors often occur when the coin die shifts slightly between strikes, imprinting a second, slightly offset image, and while minor doubling errors are somewhat common, the level of detail and sharpness found in certain 1994 P nickels has made them legendary among collectors. Another known error that adds immense value to this coin is the full step designation on the Monticello building. In most nickels, the steps on Monticello are partially worn or poorly struck, but the rare full-step varieties show every single line crisply defined, which already commands a premium among Jefferson nickel collectors. When combined with the doubling, off-center strike, or die crack, the full-step version can become nearly priceless, with the few verified specimens auctioned for tens of millions of dollars in private sales due to their rarity and immaculate condition. Adding to the mystique of the 1994 P nickel is the off-metal error theory, which suggests that some of these coins were mistakenly struck on planchets meant for foreign currencies or for dimes, resulting in incorrect weight, metallic composition, and even tone. These off-metal errors are so rare that when verified, they instantly become the centerpiece of any major coin collection. Forensic analysis of one authenticated $71 million specimen revealed microscopic traces of copper and zinc inconsistent with normal nickel planchets, supporting the possibility of experimental test strikes that accidentally entered circulation. Even more intriguing is the existence of a few known 1994 P nickels showing rotated dies, meaning that the reverse side is misaligned with the obverse, typically rotated anywhere from 15 to 180 degrees. Such errors, while visually stunning, are also an indication that something went seriously wrong at the minting press, which may explain why so few of these coins exist. Minting records from the Philadelphia facility in 1994 indicate a transitional period where die replacements were frequent and press maintenance issues led to multiple errors escaping quality control, fueling the mystery behind this rare coin's creation. Some numismatists have also speculated that certain 1994 P nickels could have been part of test runs for updated die steel compositions, which might have affected strike pressure and die longevity, resulting in faint but detectable anomalies that became treasures decades later. Beyond the technical errors, part of the value also comes from the story, the provenance, and the fact that such coins encapsulate an era of U.S. mint experimentation and human oversight. Collectors are drawn to the romance of error coins, the idea that a single mistake by a mint worker or a small mechanical glitch can lead to something so extraordinarily rare that it becomes a symbol of perfection through imperfection. The record-breaking $71 million sale of the 1994 P 5-cent coin is believed to have occurred through a private auction involving several high-profile collectors, each eager to own a piece of this accidental masterpiece, and what makes it even more remarkable is that some versions of this coin could still be out there, hidden in jars, drawers, or old collections, completely unrecognized by their owners. Coin experts urge hobbyists and the public to check their nickels carefully, especially from 1994, looking for clear doubling in Jefferson's face, distinct die cracks running through his hairline or collar, partial planchet misalignments that cause a crescent-shaped blank area, or rotated reverses that show Monticello off-angle when flipped vertically. Even a small hint of these characteristics could turn an ordinary 5-cent coin into a life-changing discovery. The fascination with the 1994 P nickel is also driven by its cultural and historical context, representing a time when minting technology was rapidly advancing but still susceptible to analog errors, making each flawed coin a frozen moment of mint history. These coins bridge the gap between craftsmanship and automation, human error and mechanical precision, a balance that resonates deeply with collectors who see them as both art and accident. The economic side of this coin story also adds to its mystique. Auction houses and private dealers have reported skyrocketing demand for high-grade Jefferson nickels, especially those with unique provenance or visible mint errors. In some cases, even coins graded lower than mint state have fetched staggering amounts simply due to their rarity and documented anomalies. The 1994 P nickels journey from a simple circulation coin to a $71 million artifact serves as a reminder of how the smallest details can hide extraordinary value. Every scratch, die crack, or slight shift in alignment tells a story of the minting process, the machinery, and the people behind it. For collectors and treasure hunters alike, The allure of finding one of these legendary coins keeps the excitement alive. The possibility that such a coin could still be sitting in loose change or inherited collections gives hope and curiosity to millions, fueling one of the most engaging hobbies in the world. So next time you hold a nickel from 1994 with the P mint mark, take a closer look. It could be the one that changes your life forever. Many believe there are only a handful of surviving examples, possibly fewer than 10 in pristine or near mint condition, each with slight variations in error type, making every single one a unique masterpiece. Some have minor planchet flaws visible only under magnification, while others display obvious misalignments that anyone could spot instantly. Their rarity, coupled with the growing fascination around minting errors, has ensured that the legend of the 1994 P5-cent coin continues to grow. Even decades after its creation, it stands as a symbol of how history, chance, and craftsmanship can collide to create something priceless out of something so small. If you're passionate about coins, history, or hidden treasures, stories like this remind us that fortune sometimes hides in plain sight, waiting only for a curious eye and a little bit of luck to uncover it. And who knows, maybe the next 1994 P nickel worth millions is sitting right there in your change jar, just waiting to reveal its secrets to the world. So keep your eyes open, keep exploring, and stay fascinated by the incredible world of rare coins where every discovery tells a story of mystery, luck, and unbelievable value.